What's up? It's Coach Vassar. Thank you for joining me with the OTF Audio Daily Beats. As I always start with these videos, if you're new, thank you for tuning in. Listen to me talk about these workouts as another way to kind of supplement your process to prepare for the days that you're coaching. If you find value in them, great, let me know. Information in the description to support me. Any feedback, as always, let me know. We are going to go over Saturday, December 14th. This will also repeat on Thursday, December 26th. So day after Christmas, Boxing Day for those in Canada. This is a endurance on the treads, power on the rower, and strength on the weight floor. Talk about key concepts, break down the treads, rowers, weight floor, 3G, all that fun stuff. So when we're looking at overview treadmills, we're gonna have a 23-minute tread block. We're gonna repeat a 1-minute push and a 2-minute base 7 times. And the goal is, can you increase your push each round? For the rower, it's a 1-minute row, and you are going to build from a push into an all out. And then on the floor, there's 2 blocks, 2 exercises, rest, and then a variation of the bear plank. Each time we do the bear plank, we add a challenge. All right, so when we look at the treads, once again, 23-minute tread block, start with a 1-minute push, 2-minute base, 7 times, and then there is a bonus round of a 1-minute push into a 1-minute all out. The goal here for the block is to increase your push speed every round by 0.1 to 0.3, even including the power walkers, and then lower or adjust their base as needed. So the first round kind of sets the tone. So really, if you think 7 rounds, first round kind of initiates, gets it moving. The next 6, can they increase and adjust their base? And then they have, of course, that 8th bonus one, but that leads into an all out. So if they could increase on that one, great, and then go off of effort for the all out. So knowing that, the goal is to kind of build up. Recommendation, of course, start on that conservative end. Power walkers 6% or greater. They might actually pull back a little bit on their speed. And then when they go back to their base, then they go back to their normal power walk base speed, and of course drop their incline. That way, when they go back to their push, they go back to that 6% incline, but then increase that walk speed by 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and they could do that every round. So they might start with their push at like 3.5, but then by that last push, they might be holding that 6% incline at 4.1. So, it's obviously very challenging to hold the same incline at a faster speed. Joggers and runners definitely know that. Power walkers, I know they tend to just crank up on incline rather than work on speed manipulation. So this is a good day to kind of emphasize that. Now for the joggers and runners, same thing. Start on the conservative end, so maybe 0.5 to 1 over their base. Knowing that they have a 2-minute base on the other side, they might start on that normal like 1 to 2 range. And that's totally fine, because once again, they can adjust that base and they could widen the gap that way. Now for the bikes and striders, really it's gonna be about that wattage change as they kind of adjust their gear. So obviously, go like a push gear, 3 to 4 gears over their base for that push, take it back to their base gear for those 2 minutes. And then the way that they could kind of sync up with the people on the treadmills is, of course, can they hold the same gear at a slightly higher RPM? Like myself, like if I'm on the bike, I'll usually hold like about 75 to 80 RPMs pretty consistently, and then add and take away gear. Generally my base is around like 13, 14, depending on how I feel the day. And my push is somewhere around 17, 18 gears, and then my all out's usually 21, 22. I'll get out of the saddle for that. So obviously if I'm trying to hit 17 gears and hold 75, and then hit 17 gears and then try to stay closer on that 80 RPM range, that's definitely going to increase the effort required for the push. And then obviously on the base, I might actually back off on the RPMs, but hold my normal base gear. So I might go to 70 RPMs with that 13, 14 gear. So in total, once again, first round kind of sets the tone. The next 6 rounds of that push-base combo, increase push, adjust base as needed. Call out here is that the heart rate will eventually kind of hit that orange, and they may stay in that orange. Obviously with 2 minutes at base, and if we're pulling back on it, we should see heart rates ebb and flow. In a perfect world, they get back to that green during their base, and then at least, halfway through their push, they're tapping back into that orange. It'll finish with an all out at the very end. Of course, a push into an all out. So if they're able to maintain their push and then the all out, depending on how much they've increased their push by at this point, it might be just a couple 0.1, 0.2s added on to get that very uncomfortable feeling. So definitely at that point, go off of feeling more so than just a straight number that they're gonna hit. That's gonna be the tread side. Now the rower weight floor, 2 blocks here. Block 1 on the floor is just the floor section. It's 10 minutes. We're gonna have a back-to-back sequence, rest, and then the bear plank variation, another back-to-back, rest, and then a challenged version of the bear plank. So we'll start off with a single arm high row, using the bench for support. You'll do 8 on each arm paired up with the alternating L raise. So as one arm goes up, other arm goes out to the side. That's 1 rep. And then on the next rep, they'll do the other side. Goal here, obviously, they're hitting back of the shoulders with that high raise, and then the L raise, or the high row, and then the L raise is gonna be hitting anterior and medial deltoids. So we're getting a lot of shoulder work between those 2 movements. Rest, and then the bear plank hold. Now the key thing here is, yes, it's a core movement, but it's also shoulder engagement. So while they have their weight in their palms and their fingertips, they should have active shoulders so they're not sunk down into it. They're pressing themselves away, keeping the shoulders braced and engaged, and of course, core tight. That one is self-timed for approximately 20 seconds. So a way to use this is just have members focus on the engagement of the abs. When they start to feel the abs burn, okay, rest. And then they go to the next back-to-back, and this is gonna be lower body focused. They're gonna have a full lateral step up, 8 on each side. So they'll start with both feet on the ground, step up sideways onto the bench, both feet come up, and then they step back down. That's 1, they'll do 8. And then what I like to tell people is just turn around, and then there's the other side. That way they don't have to awkwardly step on over to the other side of the bench. And then that's gonna be paired up with the goblet squat hold with a lateral walk for 4 reps. For the lateral walk, they don't mention it in the daily beat, but generally it's 3 complete steps. So 1, 2, 3, and then come back for 3, and that makes 1 rep, and they have 4 reps of that. If you have someone who doesn't quite feel that movement, you could have them use the resistance band. One thing that I've done personally is I'll take the knee-in pad and I'll hold it like lengthways between their feet, and as they are moving, I'll move with them. And the intention here is to remind them to do not touch the pad with their legs. That way they keep that distance between their feet about equal as they step out and then follow up. That way they don't come in closer, and then if they have a band, then they won't lose the tension, and they'll really feel that on like the lateral glutes, the medial glutes. They'll rest, and then they'll go into the bear plank step. And this is the one where it's kind of like a bird dog mentality, where it's left hand, right foot will move, they come back, and then the right hand, left foot move, and then they come back. So opposite sides are the ones adjusted and coming back. About 10 minutes for this. You'll see probably about 3 rounds or so. And then they have a 2-minute shutdown, set up the second block. And on the second block, it's another back-to-back, but this is gonna be lower body, upper body. So they have sumo deadlift for 8 reps, paired up with a half kneel-in single arm shoulder press. So think deep lunge position, knees on the floor, whichever knee is down, that's the side the weight is on. They have 8 on each arm. They'll do those 2 exercises, rest, and now they have that harder variation of the bear plank, the alternating kick through. So for that one, that's where they're gonna stabilize on one side and rotate and open up, and that bottom leg will kick out. In a perfect world, the foot floats off the floor. They have that foot touch the ground for added stability, and they'll alternate for the 8 reps there. After that, they head to the rower, and this is where you have a row attempt. It's a 1-minute build. The first 30 seconds is at a push, and then the last 30 seconds is an all out. You decide how to kind of coach them on that effort. Daily Beat kind of mentions start strong, finish stronger. So take notice of their watts during their push, and then can they increase their watts and keep it higher during the all out. The other way is also, of course, split time. They start with a low split time during the push, drop it even lower and keep it down below that push split time for that 30-second all out. If they do it right, obviously when they finish this 30-second all out row, they should need a rest, and then they'll head back to the floor and repeat the back-to-back there. The finisher on that side will be either a 1 minute all out row or any of the bear plank variations they've done for the day. And that's the 2G. Now when we look at the 3G, we're gonna see one block at every station for 14 minutes. The treadmills, it's the exact same thing. Obviously it's gonna be condensed. So they'll have a total of 4 rounds of the push-based combo. That'll put you at 12 minutes, and then a 1 minute push, 1 minute all out. So same thing, knowing that it's a shorter block here, they could start, between 1 to 2 over their base, and then adjust their base as they increase their push, rather than start super conservative, just mostly because there's gonna be way more active recovery in this block, with them having a total of 8 minutes at base, which means there's only 6 minutes of either push or an all out. So they have the opportunity to hold their normal 1 minute push, and maybe maintain base or, adjust as needed. Now for the rower, 14-minute block as well. This is gonna be another distance build. So they're gonna do 400 meters, 300 meters, and 200 meters. But the idea is the first half of that distance is at a push, and then the back half is at an all out. In fact, this is the same thing that we saw in the 3G for day 11 of 12 Days of Fitness. So if you coach that, very similar idea. So they'll actually start with the row, 200 push, 200 all out, but use the 400 stored program. That way they don't have to stop. When they finish the row, they should need to rest because that 200 meter all out effort should have taken a lot out of them. Then they have a med ball exercise. They're actually gonna do that sequence twice. So do the 400, rest, med ball, 400, rest, med ball. There's gonna be a split squat hold with the rainbow, 5 on each side. Then they'll move into the 300 meter build. Same idea, 300 meters, 150 push, 150 all out, rest, and then they'll hit the same med ball exercise for 2 rounds. And then the final build is 200 meters, 100 push, 100 all out, and then of course the split squat hold with the rainbow, 5 on each side, for 2 rounds. And then if they finish that, total of 6 rounds of work, they'll row until the finisher, which of course is a 1 minute all out. And then on the weight floor, we're gonna see just 2 of the back-to-backs. So we're gonna see block 1 from the 2G. So you'll have the high row paired up with the L raise and the bear plank hold, and then the lateral step up, and then the goblet squat hold lateral walk with the bear step. Now the difference in this block for the 3G is they're gonna do the first back-to-back and bear plank variation for 2 rounds, kind of like what the rowers just did. Then they'll do the next back-to-back and the bear step for 2 rounds. Then for the bonus, they do everything as one big block. And then their finisher, same thing as the 2G, they'll do either the bear plank hold or the bear step. And that's gonna be the closeout for the 3G for this workout. Once again, this was Saturday, December 14th. Also repeats on Thursday, December 26th. Any feedback, let me know. If you got questions, give me that heads up. Otherwise, coach you down.